All right, yeah, good morning. Australia beat New Zealand in the World Cup. It's a pretty close game, but yeah, no, it's just Australia won. So, yeah. Do you want to talk about Netherlands, Bangladesh?
Oh, well, as we said, 2.2 overs into yesterday's fixture with Australia. Texted some friends, this game's over.
Too far in front.
Correct.
Next.
Yeah.
The Great Cricket is brought to you by cricket.com. You can download the cricket.com app from the App Store. You know what? Go and do it right now. Go and download the cricket.com app from the App Store. And you know what? Subscribe to TGC if you, can enjoy these sort of Nostradamus-esque predictions. We just, Australia's going to win. And okay, it was a bit close. Okay, was some of my furniture thrown through windows at times last night? Sure. But 2 points? Get out of there.
Did I experience paralysis on my couch solo, broken only by Mitchell Starc's 5 wides to commence the last over? I really needed to go to the toilet to do a wee. Yes.
Sat back on the couch, lifted my legs in the air, pissed all over myself. Could not believe it. I don't think to get rid of me crow's feet.
As we said, Australia win. Tunnel stuff. Next.
Yeah. So that's Australia now locked in to play a semi-final against South Africa. They're going to win that semi-final and then lose to India in the final. We'll be at the end of the tournament being like, Australia made the final. Yeah, it's pretty good effort.
Yeah, waltzed in.
Yeah, pretty good.
Had some fun.
Yeah. A couple of good times. Some guys did some stuff. Other guys didn't do any stuff.
Yeah.
Who we got this year? West Indies in the summer. You beauty.
Okay. What's this ad they've got going on this summer? Oh, they're using backyard cricket, are they? I love backyard cricket and having a beer. All right. Shall we talk about this game? I'd like to start.
I love big cars and backyard cricket.
That's it, backyard cricket.
What
about a snag on the Barbie?
Oh, get out of it. Mate, I love outbacking. I love driving my big car through water.
Yep. Yeah. With some 1980s rock and roll on.
I love getting in the car with me misso and driving along a deserted beach.
Yep. And being white.
That's my favourite bit.
Here, I'm in charge of a brand. I'm in charge of marketing of any brand when the season it has fires in it and the sun's out. You know what? You know the setting we should choose to advance and amplify our brand?
Yeah.
Backyard cricket.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a housing crisis in Australia. Yeah. Backyards are tough to access if you're under 40. Nevertheless, mate, backyard cricket. Yeah. Shall we talk about this game?
Yeah, what a game.
Okay, what a game. So many fucking things happen in this game.
Right.
And there were so many notable performances in this game, which was an out and out classic. You know how I can give you evidence this was a classic?
Tell me.
I actually watched the whole game.
Wowee! Let us know in the comments about how that makes you feel that Pezza watched the entire game. Do you know why I was so nervous when Mitchell Starc was bowling the last over? Because I was like, have I just fucking wasted 8 hours of my Saturday again? I'm not even playing anymore. Wasted Saturdays,
of course. Show coming out this afternoon. The way I sum up this game is that, like, in life, we're told that in the race between the tortoise and the hare, you want to be the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race.
Bullshit.
And that was fucking bullshit because basically Heady haired off at the start and it was just enough.
The difference was a couple of Usain Bolts at the top.
Look, yeah, that's right. Travis Head went ballistic. Warner's unstoppable. There's some correlation between his conduct with his teammates and his performances. Let's keep it going, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Cummins found his fucking wonder bat again for the first time in 7 years.
Yep.
And New Zealand controlled the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Maxi, I guess, guys did stuff. But honestly, there were so many notable performances on both sides. This was an absolute classic fixture. Very, I'm just so pleased for what New Zealand was able to do and the opportunity for me to be magnanimous. What a wonderful country.
What a wonderful, and the people.
And an unfortunate loss in the Rugby World Cup this morning, where a referee had the balls to actually take on a New Zealand player.
Wow,
I haven't seen that for a while.
Yeah. So it's actually a great advertisement, this game last night, for Bitcoin, because, you know, as we know, slow and steady wins the race. That's the sort of mantra that you get told from a young age. You know,
Australia is very Bitcoin, aren't they?
Compound interest. You know, just build your assets over time.
Deposit a little bit every so often.
Fuck that. Find the newest thing. Invest, and then get out.
Go big and short the cunt.
Go big. Short the.
I said coat. A bit rattled. Just to underscore how we all feel about this and what we saw last night, hit the fucking button. Hit it.
It's time for cricket.com's stat dog. Fucking hit it. Oh shit, I'm up for this.
Who better, Donny or Hetty?
Who better?
Who's the good little boy?
People chewing their face up in church this morning.
My recollect goat, man.
Someone's just trying to go to sleep. Sorry for woken you up.
Got a Sunday morning shift.
Who's the good little boy?
Stat dog from this game, he goes, let me just give it to you all straight. A highest World Cup match aggregate last night, 771 runs. Australia, New Zealand, Dharamshala. Mitchell Starc, the most expensive figures for an Australian World Cup. None for 89. He bowled pump. Good player. Highest total. Highest total against Australia in a World Cup, 383 for 9. New Zealand last night. You're not losing side.
All the best.
Yeah, all the best. It was done after 2 overs. Most boundaries hit in a World Cup match. Second last night, 97. Australia versus New Zealand. I'm not going to tell you how many boundaries. It doesn't matter. It's non-stuff. Most sixes in a World Cup match. Second again last night, 32. Fastest century for New Zealand in a World Cup. Rachin Ravindra, 77 balls.
His own record.
Yeah, but his own record. Not really for Australia last night with Hetty and that, but most sixes hit by Australia in an ODI innings, 20 last night. Most sixes ever hit in an ODI innings.
Right.
In ODIs, Australia's become the first team to post a 350 plus total in 3 consecutive innings. That's starting to touch me in places.
I'm wetting the old whistle there. I'm wetting the appetite. I'm wetting my whistle. I'm wetting my pants. Get out of here.
Now, what character is that? Who is that? He's a grandfather you haven't seen, or like an uncle you haven't seen for about 20 years.
Yeah, who isn't really your uncle?
You've gone to visit him up in Grafton or something like that, and a couple of beers in.
It's in a one pub town.
Yeah.
It's 1963. It's dry as fuck. In fact, someone say it's dry as a nun's coat.
That's right. Denture.
And he's got straw in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's found it, because he hasn't seen grass in 15 years.
Yeah.
Not since the war.
That's right.
He's just regaling you.
It's a leathery, weathered face, isn't it?
Oh, it's weathered.
Yeah. Oh, man, wet me old whistle hearing that. Wet me whistle, wet me pants.
He's also sitting in a chair facing the corner by himself.
Yeah, no one's there with him. Okay. Best run rate, 150 run opening stand in ODIs. Head and Warner beating Bairstow and Roy. So they went at 9.13 for a 150 run partnership.
Okay.
Most sixes hit by a team in the first 10 overs of an innings.
Wow.
Australia.
Wow.
Australia was absolutely flying. No team in the history of white ball 50 over cricket has flown more than Australia was flying.
Yes.
This was Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin to a lesser extent. This was Sputnik.
Yes.
It was unbelievable what was going on.
Yep.
And they really needed it.
Yeah. As it turned out, sort of put the handbrake on. At one point, there was some conversations about, well, are we looking at 500 here? We're definitely looking at more than 450. I mean, 400's just that'd be well unders. So 388 was that what it was? 388.
389.
389. No, 388. It was 388. They're chasing 389. Was extremely unders, but fucking hell. I mean, I saw Pat Cummins afterwards. He was talking about. He was asked about Travis Head's form. He said, was he showing this kind of form in the nets before the game? And Cummins was like, not really. So he must have been absolutely pumping the nets.
Yeah.
But I saw Travis Head as well talk about he scored 100 in the World Test Championship final as well against him. He got 150, didn't he, in that game when he hadn't batted for 6 weeks. So he said, he's obviously pretty good after a spell.
Yeah, I think he just had a couple of hits against a tennis ball.
Right, okay.
In the backyard.
Because apparently he was, indeed, must be nice. So apparently he was close against the Netherlands, but he wasn't quite ready. Yeah, and now they've got a week until the England game, so that's nice. And I would have taken 109 of 67 balls, including 10 fours and 7 sixes, hitting at 162 from Travis Head.
So what was it,
I would have taken
59 ball ton?
Fucking hell!
After a layoff, just 59 rocks.
Yeah. What's diminished his innings is that Mitchell Marsh then came in and looked like he'd never batted before.
I want to talk about that. Because yeah, you say it's unders. I feel like we've seen this many times from Australia now. They can absolutely rocket out of the blocks. They've got some top order, like white ball top order specialists, and the middle is just palm house, compared to a number of other teams. And I actually wonder whether there's a certain compensation going on there as well. We can slog a little bit at the end, as shown by Cummins. But we're sort of, I feel you need to have Maxi there at the end. And I feel like people are being a bit harsh on Mitchell Marsh, really, because you're batting 3. When he's done that for the ODI team before, I'd be surprised if he's ever had a scenario where he's basically in smack bang in the middle overs, starting his innings against spin. The whole thing is so specialised now. He's not the player that should be coming in to start his innings against spin in the middle overs with all the field out. It's just literally not his game. And I wonder whether Australia learns something in that situation. If this record-breaking opening partnership happens again, which isn't to be expected, you place someone else up there who can start the innings better and bring him in later. I mean, they just hadn't counted for it.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah,
and I think the other thing I think is that Australia knows that it can motor at the end, but it needs to give those guys the right number of balls to do it. If you bring Maxwell in too early, you bring Cummins in or Stark in, whatever, too early, you're cooked. And so if Mitchell Marsh comes in and tries to start his innings against spin, going fucking hammer and tongs when he strikes at 80 against spin, he's just going to get out and put the rest of the team in a hole and slow the whole thing up. So he basically had to fight his own instincts, I thought. Plus, it's just not a strength of his at all. You pair that up with Smith, who did go at just about a run a ball, just over a run a ball, 18 off 17. Marnus, who's developing his game there, but he maxes out his ability. You're always going to get a slow Australian team in the middle order, and I feel like they were deliberately trying to just tick it over to give themselves a platform from which to launch, which they did, and it was just enough. But it is so funny with the tortoise and the hare thing. I thought New Zealand's chase was so beautiful. It was it was a mastery.
It was perfect.
It was a thing of art. It was consistent across all phases without being, completely over the top, which is where Australia ended up winning the game. They just had these 2 explosions, Australia, that were just almost record breaking, and the rest was pretty patchy, to be honest.
Yeah. Cummins was sort of pretty unlucky to not be player of the match in many ways.
Yeah, he had a great game.
He scored 37 off 14 and took 2 for 66, but he picked up Rachin and Friends and he also picked up Matt Henry at the end. So his contribution to the game was significant, and I thought I think he did captain well. I think he did captain well actually in the game.
So just so we make sure we get everything here, there's so much. So in the Australian innings, I mean, Warner just looks like he's in the greatest touch of his life now.
81 of 65.
When he's swinging so freely through the leg side that that's when he's on song. He's just crouching and getting underneath everything, and everything appears to be in his arc. And if he wants to open that front leg and go through the offside, he can do that as well. But he's looking like very difficult to bowl to at the moment.
He is so at home in India. And I think he embraces the love that he gets there.
Yeah, I get the impression that as well.
Obviously, he's doing the pushpa dance, whatever that is, on the boundary there. I'm sure someone's going to tell me what it is. But he just embraces the love. Obviously, he just burns his mates on Twitter who have an opinion different to his about the light display in Delhi. Happy to do that, but to get some Indian fans on side. Relatable content there. But just generally speaking, his record in white ball cricket is very, very good. But in India, I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best, IPL player there's ever been.
Yeah.
I'm not sure his record is for Australia and India, but I bet it's fucking good. And he just looks amazing at the moment.
and then Travis Head come. I mean, Steve Smith was shocked that Travis Head might be brought back into the side, but Bales has had the last laugh there, I'd say.
Hey, what are you reckon about they haven't got Green or Stoinis in the side? I don't think. Well, Stoinis is injured. Yeah. So, do you think that he would come in eventually for either Smith or Marnus? It would have to be Marnus.
Yeah, I do. I think that's.
I think that's still a better side.
Yeah. I do think. I don't know. I feel like last night another bowling option wouldn't have made much difference. I just
Mitch
feel like
Marsh bowled 2 overs for 30 or something.
Yeah, it was a complete road.
18, a bit harsh.
Maybe Stoinis would have bowled well on that deck. I felt like it was a pace off deck. I thought anytime there was pace, it just got sent. But
Stoinis' vibes though, isn't he, for the team?
Yeah, exactly. He's a vibe, and so you got some hitting there as well.
Yeah.
And then you go. They struggled in the middle. I just on the Mitch Marsh thing again. Like people are like flabbergasted that he played the way that he did. Like I just think that the guy doesn't start well against spin. He knows that, and he just wanted to keep it ticking over. Play someone else there if you're in that situation again. I just don't think that's going to happen. They just want Marsh to keep going when he comes in against a hard ball.
Yeah.
Smith and Marnus, I suppose, did their thing, and then it just gave Australia enough time to have those guys who can explode at the end do that. Inglis 38 off 28, I think. Maxey hit 40 off 20.
Yep.
And then Cummins, Cummins the hour, Cummins my. I just got a lisp.
Yeah.
And then that got the total up for New Zealand. Like Glenn Phillips' spell is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Exposing Australia's weakness to spin, but not the first time he's bowled well. He did the same thing. He slowed England down in that first game as well. Good bowler.
3 for 37.
3 for 37 off 10. I do think it exposes Australia a little bit. I think if you're playing against Australia again, you load up with 18 spinners in the side and you win.
Right.
You keep them to 180. Open with spin, seriously.
Yeah.
So that was a sensational spell from him. At the innings break, you're like, okay, well, New Zealand could be all out for like 80 here, or take it deep. And I thought, just getting onto the third thing, Rachin and Friends, what do you say about New Zealand's chase? It was controlled. They were obviously prepared to take it deep. I haven't seen Stark and Hazelwood so ineffectual for quite a long time. It leaves you thinking a little bit about whether like what's left in the tank. I think for Hazelwood, it's a pretty tough deck to bowl on. I'm sure he'll be back and all that sort of stuff.
I think he's still currently the number 1 ODI ranked bowler.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I know what rankings don't mean shit, but I guess it implies that he's done okay.
Stuff. Yeah. His line was off. Stark had no swing to work with and was he looked like going almost every ball.
I've heard a number of bowlers now talk about the run-ups at Durham Charlotte because obviously the average dog shit. But so it feels like because it's so sand-based that they're like sinking in, so they can't really get to the crease.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that matters.
All the bowlers.
Every quick got smashed.
Matt Henry 1 for 67 off 6. Bolt 3 for 77 off 10. Though he took 3 wickets right at the ends. Lockie Ferguson only bowled 3 overs, 3 for 38.
Yeah.
Stark 89 off 9 overs. Hazelwood 70 off 9. Cummins 66. So I mean.
Yeah,
there's a pattern there with fast bowlers. But
it's the other thing with Australia as well. Just back to the Marsh thing. Australia still didn't bat their 50. You know what I mean? Like they can still just completely crumble. That's right. And then, mate, I mean this partnership between Ravindra and Daryl Mitchell. Daryl Mitchell looked $1 billion.
Was it the shot off? Was it Stark where he just slapped the ball through cover?
I don't know which one it was.
Stand and deliver.
Like you thought, oh look, when Zorba comes on, then hopefully it slows down. They've worked on the hard ball. New Zealand don't have that issue. From overs 11 to 20, 21 to 30, just kept it ticking over fine. Daryl Mitchell looked like if he stayed in for another half an hour, it was game over. He looked amazing.
Ponting made the point on commentary. It was such a weird time to play that shot where they'd already scored 9 off the over. And then Zampa was maybe in his 7th or 8th over. He was running down these overs and just to run down and sort of scrunt one down to long on to Mitchell Stark. It was an odd time for that shot to happen.
The thing is, that's the other thing about this match, like some fucking awesome commentary. In this match, some great, like
great lineup.
having Punter walk in as well. You know what I mean? Punter's talking about the mass at the bottom of Warner's back. I'm like, man, he's off to a better start than Heady. You know? Yeah, I mean, I thought Mitchell was in such control. He could have been entitled to expect that ball to go for six as well. And I felt like through New Zealand's innings, they always were still just behind Australia. They were always catching up in that really, 2023 professional way. So, if that goes for six and New Zealand actually get ahead, what does that do? How does that change the complexion of the game? What pressure does that put on Australia? Now, just a word for Adam Zampa, without whom Australia would be absolutely fucked.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy, he carried the innings. He kept coming back on to take strike wickets. He goes for a few, but on that ground, bowling leg spin,
3 for 74.
Incredible effort. He was Australia's linchpin throughout the innings.
He picked up Santner and he picked up Latham and Mitchell before then.
He was. I mean, they're so cooked without Zampa, the Aussie team. And now let's talk about Rachin Ravindra in respectful terms. Firstly, because the knock is just like the guy he's special. He's a bit special.
He was very lucky, wasn't it?
He's too far.
Yeah, he was put down by Maxwell on 100. And then luckily it didn't cost Australia too much. It was so impressive because now he's done it against us.
Yeah,
so
now we're not sitting up and taking notes. He might get himself a BBL gig. Tell you what, Heady will go for about 8 million one in the IPL. That's all these things are meant to ladder up, right?
Of course. He has a semi-unusual technique, Ravindra, where I couldn't tell if he was playing such high-risk shots or if it's just the nature of the slaps of the offside where he almost kind of undercuts it with his bottom hand, so with his left hand, almost sort of slices it a bit.
He's saying he sort of lets it go like a left arm orthodox Ravindra,
I am sort of saying
Does it remind you of anyone?
It does. And let us know in the comments actually if there's any sort of lineage with any greats.
He actually, in all seriousness, his technique actually reminds me of Hussey a little bit, the way he holds a bat up before he bowls it.
That's a good shout.
Before he hits it. And he also, he just seems to add so much... it's like he writes in cursive, you know what I mean? Like there's so many little bits of flourish to the shot that are just so beautiful on the eyes.
There was one shot against Stark which was length, and he just stood there and just pumped him over.
Calligraphy.
And that's why I couldn't tell if it was really high risk batting or just extremely good execution. Maybe it was both. I mean the nature of these things anyway. That's why I find it funny when the run rate goes from 9 to 10 and over. And it's like, these guys chase 15 for 4 overs in IPL every single game. So it's funny, isn't it? Doesn't really matter.
They're like, run rate's creeping up. Every time you saw it at 10 as an Aussie fan, you're like, that's good. Through overs maybe 20 to 30, 35. And you're like, but actually at that, once it gets to 35 and it's at 10, it's like, no, that's back in New Zealand's favour now. You know, because there's so little time left. I'm needing this at 12s now, 13.
Exactly.
So they just got it there.
But with Ravindra, I mean, it's back foot. He cut well. He drives really well. Uses his feet excellently. I think his record against spinners, he's averaging something about 150 in this World Cup, but striking into the similar amount or some shit. It was extremely impressive to now score 200s in a World Cup under the age of 23, and the only other person to do that, Pezza, is I actually don't remember who the other guy is.
For some reason they were chanting Sachin at the ground.
They were chanting Sachin. Yeah, did you notice that? They were saying Sachin, Sachin. I noticed that. That was really weird given that Rachin Ravindra was back.
Yeah, different. A New Zealand player, yeah. That's odd.
Something
to think about.
Yeah.
Towards the end, a word for friend of the show, James Neesham. Great knock. I have to say, the final scenes of the match with him, dirtied, Kit on his knees, slumped, having been run out. You're like, oh, mate, you do not deserve that. Unlucky, but...
Yeah.
Well, it's a game, I guess.
It did make you think of Martin Guptill. I mean, that's what Jimmy Neesham said, is that image with Inglis diving towards a stump a la Butler in 2019 with Guptill there. It was very similar. Also, is New Zealand's jersey the same? Might be. But I found that funny with Neesham, who finished 50 out of 39, 3 4s, 3 6s. When he was facing Stark, that was literally just the pitcher bowling fastballs and the batter just trying to line him up. There was no off speed. There was no the field was set. Like everyone knows where this ball's going. It's now just an execution battle. I'm going to try and nail my Yorker. You're going to try and slog me if I miss. And I kind of enjoyed that straight. Like everyone knows what's going to happen here. Like and it's just a matter of like who executes the skill in that moment. Which was kind of exciting because my team won. But
there's this great piece. I think great piece. There's a couple
in the tubs.
There's this great piece in the tubs.
I can't stop thinking about it.
I asked Nisham about it when he was on the show. The psychological tweak he had. I sort of tweaked it. The psychological tweak he had. Where like a couple of years ago he was so out of love with cricket and just his confidence was completely shot, and working with his old coach or whatever who looked at him and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I just sort of switched him on. But when he played in that super over for New Zealand against England, he said, I was going out to bat and I was thinking about how I had a chance to win the World Cup for my country. Like, that's where his psychology was. And as Stark was running in to bowl to him, the camera like panned to him and he was like nodding. Like it was almost like, fucking come at me now. And I was like, I just would love to attain that level of confidence, you know, in something in life. Like when there's so much pressure on. You know, he really rose to the occasion. Missed out on this occasion.
Just didn't quite get his areas right.
It wasn't just sort of executed on it.
Wasn't a great matchup for him. He sort of missed that full toss. Earlier on, Trent Bolt was caught on the boundary by Marnus, who then stepped on the rope, a la Trent Bolt catching Stokes on the boundary, then stepping on the rope in 2019. There was some excellent fielding.
Can I just pick up on that? I don't think anyone saw this, but or at least if they have, it hasn't been said. But just going back to the commentators, when that happened with Marnus, and the way through the ball up was very akin to Bolt. You could tell it was like an electric shock. He threw it up once his foot hit, and the camera just panned back, and right behind him on the boundary was Simon Dooley.
I saw that.
Dooley watching the game like a club cricket game, you know what I mean, just leaning over, and as soon as his fingers are up saying 6 before Marnus is his. And I thought the commentators might have picked up on that, but Dooley was right onto it, just like looking at it, he's like, that's 6, mate, that's 6. Oh, that was good.
It was 6. Later on, then who was it? It was Marnus again who saved 4 through the mid wicket off Nisham, and then
that was the stop.
And then also even better, I thought, was when Cummins then set mid on
Maxwell,
right down the ground, almost in a straight hit. It was closer to straight hit than it was sort of long on, but down the ground.
That was before.
Just misses the Yorker, gets stuck, gets a finger on it, goes right past mid off where Steve Smith is. Maxwell sweeps round, 2 hands on a dog shit outfield, picks it up, throws it to.
I thought he would deserved a bit more credit for that from the commentators. Like I mean, if he misses it, it's ordinary fielding, obviously. But like he swept around, and the timing of it was sensational, and Smith was there to help. And then I thought Marnus' stop on the boundary a couple balls after that was pretty fucking hot too.
And given how bad the outfield is, those are seriously impressive stops. So I think it was 31 required off 2 overs. Hazelwood bowls the 49th over. It went for 12. 19 required off the last. Stark bowls. Stark is then bowling to Bolt, I think it is. No, is it Bolt?
No, it's
Nisham.
Yeah.
He starts the over?
Yeah, and he commences with 5 wides.
The first ball of the over was 5 wides.
So from 19 off 6 goes to 14 off 6.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Or was he bowling the first ball of the over to Bolt? Yeah, and then he got a single, and it was 18 off 5.
And then maybe 14 off 5.
And then it was 13 off 5. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. Anyway, that was also pretty unlucky. Stark just misses his Yorker, hits the foot marks, goes over Inglis's head. Inglis as well, I thought, there's a couple of moments where those off-speed balls, off-speed bounces are bouncing about 3 feet in front of him. They're a fucking nightmare when you're playing on a club field.
Yeah, that's nice. Keeper to keeper, love that. Just in front.
What people don't understand is about gloves at the international level, especially in World Cups.
So you're praising English gloves, it's good. Yeah, like it.
It's good.
I thought that
great game of cricket.
New Zealand can take a shitload from that. I thought that the chase was sensational.
They're probably going to miss out on the semis now, unfortunately, because Sri Lanka's now going to win every game.
To the next World Cup. In South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa 2027.
A couple of the younger guys might sort of could have been in the sheds for that.
Tim Southey's still in the group. He probably won't play, but he's just there.
I genuinely feel like New Zealand put together like a really well organised performance, and Australia, as usual, have turned up and a couple of chest blokes have gone, and it's just been enough.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Short the
yeah. Like New Zealand is property. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
New
yeah.
Zealand's get a foot in the property ladder. Don't go out. Don't buy your Avo on toast. Don't get your flat whites. Put your money away. Work at Office Works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like mum and dad really proud of you.
Yeah.
Get a girl early.
Yeah.
Stay with her and stuff. Australia's fucking, Hulk Hogan.
I've said 10,000 women.
Yeah, it's right. Like lost everything, won it all back on a fucking pitch and toss of Bitcoin. Now selling fucking bored apes. With Paris Hilton. That's us. Great to watch.
It's
great
a great matchup.
They're bored.
Yeah. All right, it's a hell of a long show. Should we do AskTGC?
Oh, yeah. This stuff. Okay, AskTGC, nearly there. And it is from Alacordero, 5235. I know you guys tend to underplay Australia, but what do you genuinely think of their World Cup chances? Also, if they do, will Pezza get a tattoo of a kangaroo on his shiny head as a symbol of Western resurgence?
I think that joke's been done with the tattoo gear, but unlike the Rachin and Friends stuff, and let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that's what we think.
I think what's going to happen is that Australia will finish third. South Africa will beat New Zealand in the next game they play. New Zealand will just about sneak into fourth. They will play against India in the semi-final. Australia will beat South Africa in the semi-final, and then India will win their semi-final. Australia, I've already told you what's going to happen. I don't think Australia.
India in a canter as well in the final.
Yep.
Yeah. NS canter.
Yep.
Okay. So
all the Australian guys have food poisoning.
yeah. So a food poisoning final.
Yeah.
Good enough. Australia's on the boat already.
Yeah.
Australia's 1 foot on the plane.
Yep.
Win the toss. Just get it.
And their matchups just don't quite.
That's really quite, yeah. Shubman,
Well, we've gone long this episode, but we hope you've enjoyed the World Cup so far, the World Cup coverage so far. India, England tonight. That's an interesting one in the sense of I wonder how many runs India can score against that attack. I guess we'll find out tomorrow on the channel. Click subscribe if you are new here, and we'll see you guys on the internet tomorrow. Cheers.